Seems like a common failure mode in a lot of conversations is that someone will try to use their system to analyze someone else's system. And the other person, instead of taking the criticism, will correctly say, you probably don't understand my system, and that's why you don't believe what I think right now. In many cases, the spirit of this is completely correct, even though the person in question being critiqued would probably be a little more charitable and try to actually go into someone else's system and analyze it. But this is hard, of course. So I think the big problem in a lot of discussions is just both sides not willing to actually step into another system. One example of an area where I think there's a lot of misunderstanding between the two sides is the prime mover argument. The idea that there is an original cause to the phenomena that you see, the universe or the world. So many atheists, they would argue against the prime mover argument by saying that the argument assumes that there cannot be an infinite regress. So the structure of the argument, for those who do not know, is that everything that exists has a cause. The universe exists, therefore the universe is a cause. And the idea is that you could list all these causes and there's the one first cause. But what I think is interesting is that we could reframe this argument very subtly to focus more on just the mind and on consciousness. I think that atheists are, for the most part, a lot more receptive towards this. It might go something like this. Right? If you conceptualize of all the ways in which different concepts cause each other, you will eventually reach a first concept that is causing everything else inside your world. Right? So even if you say, yeah, there's infinite causes, well, you had to use the concept of infinity to talk about this. So you basically use appealing to infinity as a sort of first concept that causes everything else. It's like from infinite, there's something. Okay. And even saying it like this, I think it at least opens up the door for more nuanced discussion on what it really means to create all these categories and then to talk about causality. Because, if you're interested in the whole woo thing, you could just say everything is one. And this would also be somewhat correct, even though it's pretty much as correct as saying everything is infinity, right? There's as little information inside it as that, even though both of them are somewhat true. But in any case, I think that it's important to focus on actually moving the conversation forward instead of just thinking, I'm going to dig my heels in the ground right here and not learn. In the end, we learn from each other because we have different viewpoints. God granted us the privilege to be able to strongly disagree with each other and edify